I am super excited about this week's video. We're going to take the things we've been discussing this past couple of weeks and learn how to apply it to davening and really make it a real and profound experience. We're going to take the emotions that we discussed 2 weeks ago when someone does something challenging to us and how we learn to challenge our assumptions, to understand it and reframe it so that we go from perhaps a place of anger or frustration to a place of shalom and menucha and even perhaps simcha. And understand that how that applies to Hashem, just like we did last week. We talked about Esther and how she had her challenges that Hashem did to her throughout the story of the Purim Megillah. And this week we're then going to take all of that, the emotions, the changing the emotions, see how we relate to Hashem, and then putting it in davening so that we can experience it every time we have a Queen Esther. We start off Queen Esther and we talk about the bracha of Avos, where we start off describing Hashem as Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, which means that Hashem has the need of Ava, but also the need of Din. And things happen to us that can look really challenging and even hurtful. And we might think to ourselves, I must be so bad and Hashem must hate me and I deserve to be punished for one reason or another. And we have to challenge that assumption, just like we challenge the assumption when someone does something to us that might be hurtful. And we say, there's a reason, there's something else is going on. It's not because they don't like me. And I know certainly when it comes to Hashem, it's because He loves me. Because Hashem is Mogen Avram. And with that, we release all of those feelings of anger, of self-loathing, or undeserving, or all of those negative emotions. I know that Hashem is doing this because He loves me. And then we proceed into the bracha of Mechayim Mesim. And here we address the questions of maybe it shouldn't have happened, if this would have been that way, or I would have lived over here, or I would have made that decision, or if only this person wouldn't have gotten sick, or if I only got the promotions. And I recognize that Hashem is the one who runs the world. He's Mechalkel Chayim. He's the one who brings all of Parnasa and sustenance to the world. He's also the one who's Roifei Cholim and Matir Asurim, and He's the one in charge. And even if all of that, Mechayim Mesim, it'll end up being all rectified. But Hashem, at the end of days, is Mechayim Mesim. And here I challenge why it happened, and I need to understand it, and I think it's that way, and I recognize there's another perspective. If I would be in that other person's perspective, I would realize that what's going on over here is a good thing or for a good purpose. And certainly when it comes to Hashem, Hashem orchestrates the world. Everything that happens, from the blades of grass that grow into the ground to the people who live and die, is all exactly orchestrated by the greatest conductor of the whole world. And it needed to happen. And therefore I can let go of all of those what if or if only, and I again come to a place of acceptance, of menucha, and even perhaps simcha. And then we conclude the first segment of Queen Esther with the bracha Bakel HaKodesh. And here we address the question, why? We are always plagued with the feeling, why do I need this? Why does this have to happen to me? Why? And that can be so demoralizing. But when it comes to Hashem, I know that Hashem is beyond understanding. I know it's mi'ava, and I know it's with the purpose of Mechayim Mesim, and now I can accept it, that it is beyond my understanding. I don't need to be able to understand why Hashem does what He does. I recognize He's Akel. He is a God who understands so much better and Kodesh beyond our understanding. And with this is a final be able to release and just accept and not have to struggle and fight against the emotions, the torrent of emotions that always plague us when we ask ourselves why. If we can successfully take the emotions that we have learned to deal with in our Bein Adam L'Chavero, apply them like we saw Esther did, the Bein Adam L'Makom, and now when we open up a siddur and we daven, have a real emotional and personal experience of accepting that Hashem loves me. Hashem does exactly what is supposed to happen. There's nothing else that could be right. It's the perfect situation, and I can accept it because I know that Hashem has a greater understanding than I ever will. It is a tremendously releasing and positive experience. A person comes to a certain level of menucha, and perhaps, as we've been talking about, trying to strive even for a level of simcha. Indeed, it is so exciting to be able to take all of the experiences of life and learning how to channel them into my avodas Hashem. May our teffilos become more powerful, more meaningful, more uplifting, more connecting. And we all be zocheh to have that sense that Hashem is with us no matter what happens in our lives.